show where we take a dumpster dive on this week's garbage people and a look at all the trashiest news stories. My name is Erica, and I'm your host.
My name is Cassandra, and I'm your other host. And welcome to another pre-recorded evergreen episode because I am on podcast maternity leave.
This is coming to you from an undisclosed bunker location. We're on lockdown.
We all have Tdaps,
Oh, yeah.
vaccinated up in this house.
Yes.
Up in this bunker.
with years of grain supplies and evaporated milk and
Yeah.
a water filtration system.
Everyone's drinking my breast milk for food.
It's sustenance. We have to. It's uncomfortable when I try to make small talk during, but it just is what it is, you know?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't have to be that uncomfortable if you didn't have me all chained up like a big milk machine. That's my issue.
Yeah, but you'll just try to leave and complain if we don't. It's just easier this way, Cass. Just come on.
I get it. I get it. I'll tell you what. It has not crossed my mind to sell breast milk on the internet to bodybuilders.
Lucrative market.
I'm not saying I'm going to do it or that I am currently doing it when you're listening to this. I'm just saying it hasn't not crossed my mind. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
there are babies who need it. Like, so there's like really good places to donate to. I don't know them. I also don't know how to get in touch with freako bodybuilders who drink breast milk, but like,
Cass, wait. Idea.
What's up?
What if you're pregnant, you have the milk. What if I start scamming them, selling just whole milk with a little, I don't know, powder in it. I don't know, protein powder, who knows? And say it's breast milk. This is $1 million opportunity. You can crank out more milk from the grocery store than your body can. And what are they going to say? This didn't come from her? Prove it.
Certainly no, I think
unethical, but
yeah,
wrong morally? ?
I think they'll know. Because I have to assume that before you go to the jump to breast milk, you probably had started on, well, let me try whole milk with some powder first before I really get here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I hope that that's what happened.
Yeah.
Also, I think the coloring is a little bit different. Whole milk, at least in the United States, is very white. Breast milk, again, TBD, because we're pre-recording this, but I think there's a different energy to
I'll
it.
reverse engineer the texture. You give me a little bit of yours.
A lot. Yeah, we
I'll
have to
do
taste
the sampling. I'll be very sick about it, but we'll have so much money.
I wonder if these bodybuilders have tried formula feeding themselves. I don't know.
Oh my God, just breast milk with a little bit of formula. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Anyways, why are you trash? Besides the conversation we just had.
Yeah, this is the thing. I don't do illegal things, but like I think of them frantically. Like I'm very good at it.
Is that illegal? I don't know.
Because it's illegal in itself. So if I made like fake meth and sold it, and meth was just pixie dust.
Oh, I think, for scamming them, like their scam shit is illegal. Sure. But it looks like selling breast milk is not illegal. It's just unregulated.
Speaking of pixie dust, I'll get into why I'm trash, but I had the opportunity.
$1 to $2 an ounce.
That feels low. We need you to be like, we'll say you're like an heiress somewhere of a country you can't Google, and that's why it's special.
I'm so insecure that what if a bodybuilder takes 2 looks at me and goes, I don't want that milk.
We'll have that's not going to happen, but we'll have a front model. We'll have one of these like trad wife models as like the store salesman. You know what I mean? Like she's the face of the brand. If you're worried about it, because they would never question you because you're gorgeous and perfect. But just to say,
but if she doesn't have, if she doesn't have the milkers to back it up, okay. Sorry, why are you trash? I interrupted you.
We can't get into this business plan.
We
I got scammed at Disneyland yesterday. I got to go for a special opportunity, and I always get the beignets from the mint julep, right? From guess what's happening right now? I guess it's seasonal beignet season. My beignets were covered in powdered sugar and grape flavoring.
What the fuck season is grape?
I don't
We're
know.
recording this early March. What?
A
There's no
surprise grape is
season?
unpleasant. Let me tell you that because I said, "Huh, these beignets are purple. Huh, must just be purple dye. I don't know. Just past Mardi Gras. I don't know." Come to find out, it's a seasonal flavor. You have to specifically ask for the regular, and it should be the other way around. You should have the regular as the default and ask for the special seasonal. I was
Grape?
pissed. Yeah.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? Anyway, but why I'm trash is I recently went. Was I sad and mad? I recently went to the dentist, and it was a new dentist. So I'm getting, having to do the whole bit, whole kit and caboodle, whole cleaning, meeting my new dental hygienist, etc. And we're having a jovial time. I love her. We're getting along great. And she we're going along the gums where she's like 1, 4, 3, there's like different, like 1 is good and 2s or 3s are normal and 4
I
and
wish
5s
that
are
they never would
bad.
have told me which one was good and bad
Because I'm
because
doing
I've had
meth in
that.
the head. I'm doing math in my head, and it
Uh-huh.
ain't good. It ain't good.
I'm like, oh fuck, I got another 4. Like I knew that tooth was a problem.
It's like, oh, I knew. Yeah,
Also,
I know.
that like
Just
hurts, by the way.
it does. She just calling him out like a bingo caller. She's like, 1, 4, 3, 1, 2, 2, 4, 5, and I'm like, no.
I'm like, Mama, you're just stabbing my tooth, every one of them 3 times. Like,
We're gonna hit a
can
5 every once in a while,
have some couth about this.
or don't
Anyways,
tell me.
I
So I'm
have a
sitting there.
different system. I don't know, whatever. Or
I
just
don't know.
again, don't tell people what the numbers mean.
Yeah, don't tell me what it means. So I'm
Yeah.
sitting there, and my dental hygienist complimented my makeup. I said, "Oh, thank you very much. It's XYZ brand, obviously application by me." And then, we're a little bit longer into the 4, 2, 1, 5, 3, 2, 2, 3, 5. And I'm like, oh no. And then she compliments another element of my makeup. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Not once. It was only when I left that I realized not once did she compliment my oral health, teeth, my gums, color of my tongue. And I'm like, oh, so she's saying if you don't have something nice to say, compliment your makeup. Anyway, I was like, oh wow, because she was to the nines. It was Beverly Hills dentist. She was to the nines, and I'm like, I'm also to the nines. We're doing great. Then I was
Yeah.
like, wait, she didn't once compliment my flossing. That's why I'm trash.
I everyone who listens to this podcast knows I had a really hard time finding a dentist in LA. It was a whole fucking thing, from the one where I had to fake a phone call to get out of there because I thought for sure I was going to die on the table, to then my Audrey Hepburn dentist.
Yeah.
The one I have now is pretty good. It's not, I don't get scared when I'm there. And so I was talking to people about this at like a party of like, because the person who recommended me to that dentist was at the same party. And I was like, hey, by the way, her dentist is good.
Mhm.
Because someone else was telling some other horror story about a dental thing. And I was like, but then I was remembering back to the experience. I was like, I will say one thing. The person who was doing the 1, 2, 4, 5, like whatever on my mouth made a couple comments. It was the same comment. She just made it a couple times about how I have a tight mouth.
Oh
And I
no!
said, surely there's another way to say that. But
There
she's
must be
like,
another way.
she's like, I really recommend you get one of these, like certain toothbrushes. She's like, because you have a really tight mouth. And she's in there like 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, tight mouth. And I'm like, Mama, if you were a man, this would be like, I would be out of here. I would be the Kool-Aid man through the fucking wall. But I think you think you're getting away with it. You're getting away with it because you're like a woman who's like telling me about your twins and all this stuff. But then you keep saying the words tight mouth to me, and I'm not comfortable.
Wow.
And that's the best
Wow.
dentist I can find in LA. So It's just
Fantastic.
we got a
The
tough
dentist I had, my new dentist, there were people leaving and they were like hugging the dentist and the hygienist and they were like, I had so much I got so much dental trauma. This is the best doctor. Like 3 people come out and are like, I absolutely love them because I'm like, do they know I'm new? What's happening? But they were like literally the best. I like had so much oral trauma from dentists in the past and all this stuff. And oh, I just love them. And they're hugging and they're leaving. And I'm like, is this just an act to keep me as a patient? Because you know what I mean? Like, do those people just work in the office and they're like, she's
yeah.
great on her way out?
It's
Like writing their own
suspect.
fake Yelp review, misspelling the name intentionally so it doesn't look so staged. Like, I don't,
Oh my god.
anyway, I
Um,
guess.
here here's why I'm trash.
Yes.
I would like to share how I learned how I knew I was pregnant, I should say.
Oh.
So, I found out very early in the process,
Mhm.
which is a shame because the longer you know you're pregnant, the longer you're pregnant, I think. I mean, it's good to know fast if you're
Sure.
like if you know, like to hit the sauce like I do. Um, that's alcohol.
Yeah.
But, it could have maybe lasted if I don't know. Anyways, I was on a it was this we were going to Costco, Taylor and I, and it was around lunchtime, which don't go to Costco hungry, but I was eating plant-based at the time, but I was dabbling in fish when I felt like it. And
Mhm.
this day specifically, I was like, I gotta eat fish. I need protein.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I've never had the sushi at Costco, which immediately someone should have been like, are you okay?
Mhm.
But I
Mhm.
was like, I'm gonna get a sushi platter from Costco. And then I also saw a platter of shrimp cocktail. I said, that actually looks great also. And I
Mm.
told Taylor, I looked him in the eyes, I said, I'm going to eat both of these today for lunch. And he was like, okay. And I was like, well, I'll split it up maybe between 2 lunches. And he was like, okay. Um, but I said, I was like, "Oh, this is PMS." You know, I'd gotten my IUD out, like, within, like,
Mhm.
the past few months prior to that. My periods were all out of whack. I
Yeah.
was like, "This is definitely PMS because why else would I want this?" Cut to that weekend because I did eat that entire sushi. It wasn't even good, and I ate it. That was the last time I had sushi, by the way, was fucking shitty Costco sushi. It wasn't, like, sugarfish or, like, something great. I know
Yeah.
this doesn't mean anything to
Yeah.
you because you don't eat sushi, but, like, it's
Yeah.
not
I know
good.
there's grades. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then later that weekend, I went to Sacramento to visit some friends and drank all weekend, hot tubs and drinking, like just really things you shouldn't do. If you know you're pregnant,
Right.
okay. I didn't. And the last night we were there, we were kind of like, just exhausted from the weekend. And we are like, hey, like, let's go to Smart and Final, get like every man for themselves kind of dinner, like just everyone get whatever you want. And we're going
Love
to watch
those
the Sex and the
days.
City movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was like, you guys are going to think I'm freaks, but like, since we're doing this, like, I got a whole thing of shrimp cocktail again. And I was just ate shrimp cocktail and watched the Sex and the City movie. I get back into town and Taylor and I are, he's going up to San Francisco. I'm coming back from Sacramento. So we like, hi, how are you? Oh, well, hi, I'm your wife. I'm your husband, like in the Burbank airport, like just kind of stupid. Like,
Yeah.
okay, bye.
Right.
Have a nice
Yeah.
flight. Like enjoy going home. And I had a friend staying that night with me to like hang because she was going through like a breakup. And I was like, hey, my husband's out of town. Like, come spend the night, whatever. Um, and I was just like working that day and I just felt a small bit of like I just felt a little perturbed. I had a moment where I was like, I have been eating a lot of shrimp cocktail for no reason. Like, I'm
Mhm.
not someone who craves
Mhm.
cold shrimp in a red sauce with a little bit of lemon on top. So I was like, this is weird. I'm like, my period's supposed to start like any moment now. But like my friend's gonna come over. She's going through this breakup. We're gonna drink. I drank all weekend. Like
Yeah.
maybe I'll just take a pregnancy test to like
Sure.
ease my suspicions in my mind and like confirm that this is definitely PMS.
Mhm.
And lo and behold, that faint second line. And then I was immediately like, what have I done? Why did I do this? Why did I take this? My fucking husband's gone for like the next 2 days.
Yep.
Now I have this information that I don't want. I mean, don't get me wrong. We planned on having a child.
Yeah.
And so it was like, when I say I didn't want that information, I meant I didn't want it in that moment. And so then, yeah, my friend, and I just like, I was freaking the fuck out. So like, I went and got different tests, even though these tests were like, they might not work if you're like, because I was like 4 weeks pregnant. Like, you don't usually pop up on tests until you're like maybe 5 or 6 weeks. But, some of these tests say that they'll show at 4 weeks. And so I got those tests that are like very much say like pregnant, not pregnant on it. There's no lines or
Mhm.
anything. Like, it is a yes or no. And so my friend comes over and we're walking our dogs outside and she's, talking about her boyfriend she's breaking up with. And I was like, uh-huh, yeah, absolutely. Fuck him 100%.
Right, right.
Sorry to interrupt though. I'm going to need you to look at something when we get in the house because I don't know if this is real. I don't know if this line, I hadn't
Right.
taken the pregnant or not pregnant. I had to wait. I was like, I can't
Yeah.
do this unsupervised. And yeah, so that changed the course of the night and the course of the rest of my life. But
Yeah.
I just thought it was, why am I trash?
Charming.
Because
Yeah.
shrimp cocktail, baby.
I told you about the time where my roommate back in the day thought she was pregnant, so I bought us a bunch of pregnancy tests for everyone in the house, a bunch of candy, and piñatas for everyone because we were going to celebrate either way. So everyone in the house took pregnancy tests, including my male friend that was over. Just in solidarity, we all took the piss test, and we were all
That's nice.
negative. Would have,
That could have gone. I've seen people do that on like TikTok and stuff.
yeah,
And it's always the gag is always when someone who didn't expect to be pregnant found out that they're like,
is
who was like not even the one who was worried about it.
yeah, yeah.
And like, so it's like, oh, there's two positives. Oh, there's two positives. Who's the other one? And then
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh my God. Yeah.
Well, we
Anyways,
celebrated with our piñatas that it was
that's nice.
all negative. But anyway, oh, it was a great night. All right, the photo from that night, epic. Okay, let's before we get into our first stories, let's hear from some of the sponsors of this podcast. And as always, we have ad-free episodes on patreon.com/trashy podcast.
Baby trash cans, are you in the market to make your personal care routine a little bit more eco-conscious? Because natural deodorant is a great place to start.
Cass, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about Wild, the UK's #1 natural deodorant company that's focused on performance, style, and sustainability.
With 100% vegan formula ingredients derived from plants, Wild is focused on making their deodorant safe for the humans and the planet.
Oh, so no skin-irritating complex chemical compounds?
No mama and no aluminum salts or parabens or aluminium since it's from the UK.
Sign me up!
Funny you should say that because Wild offers flexible subscription services or you can purchase one at a time.
Well, that's convenient. Oh, and it looks like Wild offers new limited edition cases and scents each month.
We love variety.
Go Wild today with a special discount of 25% off your first order when you use code TRASHY at checkout.
Go to wearewild.com and use code TRASHY at checkout.
One more time for the people in the back. wearewild.com and use code TRASHY at checkout.
Let me say this, because I said it before the ad break, that like my last sushi was Costco. There is something that I don't think enough people talk about, which is the fact that, like when people are like, I'm going to do a dry January. And so they like have New Year's to go like borderline to the hospital with alcohol poisoning. Like they have last hurrah opportunities, or I'm starting a diet next month. So I'm going to just go buck wild on a McFlurry. Like you have that moment when you're pregnant, you don't get that last
Hurrah.
moment. You don't get it because you have to stop. I mean, I guess you don't have to do shit, but like most people, you just stop. You're like,
Yeah.
fuck. There's no like,
Yeah.
there's no one last night, because I maybe some people do it. I don't know. I've heard of some people doing that, but I'm like, are you kidding me? If anything would have went wrong, I would have
Yeah, could have
zeroed in on that
sideways.
one,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just
As someone that
so that
had
everybody feels bad for me.
worked at a tanning salon, we're not medical professionals, so we cannot give medical advice and we cannot decline someone for a health condition. We can warn them of the advisements. So if like I witness this is a Patreon only actually,
Hi, regular listeners. It's time for our first story.
from the NewYorkPost.com. A fed up teacher allows little girl to drop F-bombs alone in the bathroom to prevent cussing in front of other students. Now, I had to triple check this story that this wasn't me. That this was not a teacher who was like my teacher. Famously, one of my dad's favorite stories is that when I was a little, like in preschool, I was at the lake with my dad and some of my aunts and uncles and cousins, and my dad was standing about waist, about chest deep water, and he had me kind of up on his shoulder, and he said, "Hey, tell your uncles what you do in preschool. Tell them what you've been doing in preschool. I'm in preschool. I'm proud of it. I'm telling them every day. I got stories. Surprised, I got stories." And I go, and this is my dad says, I said this verbatim. I go, "We spit and cuss out by the fence."
Hilarious.
And my dad's like, "What? He's used to like the blocks and finger painting or numbers. And my uncle, Henri uncle, goes, "And what cussing do you do?" Thinking I might say damn, or ass, maybe.
Yeah.
And he says that I strung together the most eloquently filthy statement. Just cursing super, like the Shakespeare of cursing. And my dad turned beet red. And like my uncle had to go under the water to keep from letting out. My dad just goes, "Hey, we don't spit and cuss out by the fence anymore, okay?" And I was like, "Okay." Best part of preschool, I guess.
Spit and cuss. God, it's like you're written by Mark Twain,
Just
spit and cuss.
We spit and cuss out by the fence.
I remember being at like
Go ahead.
a pool. I remember being at like the public pool and like motherfucker had just come into my vernacular.
That's a
I
visceral
had to,
memory of when I first
yeah, like everyone I think remembers their first motherfucker. I was probably like,
This is an explicit warning.
yeah, gotta earn them. I was probably like 10 or something.
Eee.
I remember just like walking up to the diving board and being like, "Watch this, motherfucker." Or like, "Did you see that motherfucker on the slide?" Like I was
Yes.
using it. I will never forget that. Harlow Park, Littleton, Colorado, 10-year-old or I don't know. Again, I was young.
Yeah.
But it was just like mother. Oh my God. Like a summer, like when the fruits come out for the summertime and you're
the
like,
smell is in the air of springtime and summer.
Like,
the motherfuckers from the
like the
children's mouths.
motherfuckers were in season and I was eating. Oh my God.
Oh,
That
when
is
I
so
nanny
funny.
kids and they start to cuss, I always follow the parents' lead with like, "What do we do?" Because like like one little girl discovered the F word. She's like, "Fuck, man!" Like just like in frustration. It was like, "For fuck's sake!" And I'm like, I know her parents don't speak like that, So I'm like,
Sure.
where did she get it? Are we acknowledging it? Are we shining her away from it? Or are we just hoping she doesn't get a reaction and phases it out? So I always had to like look at the parents like, what do we do here on that one? Like she used it right.
Yeah. She didn't say it wrong.
For fuck's sake, from like a 4-year-old's the best thing you've ever heard.
It's so funny.
So cussy, but So this
I
poor
know.
Pennsylvania daycare teacher allows one of her students to just unleash alone in the bathroom, just expletive-ridden tirades, which sounds like me when I was a little
This is
baby.
good advice. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
like if this girl ever has to grow up and be like a waitress, that's what the walk-in freezer is for.
Oh,
You know,
the amount of cussing I do, yeah, in the bathroom to myself, and then I go, flush those down the toilet now that I'm done cussing them.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Go in the walk-in, you have a little scream.
If you're
Yeah.
going to cry, go outside, Kelly Catrone. Just if you're
Yeah.
gonna cuss, go to the bathroom.
So like I feel like this is honestly like really good advice. Also, her two favorite words are butthole and bitch. And I'm like, girl, same.
She also gives kids the finger, so we have to like limit where to give. Remember flipping somebody off for the first time,
Oh my God.
learning what that
The
meant,
power.
and then doing it. Or when you start reading Shakespeare and you learn
At the
biting your
prick of-
thumb,
yeah.
biting our thumbs. We were like, oh yeah, that got banned pretty quickly at my school too.
Well, and we grew up in the time of Friends, which on Friends they had the like your two fists kind of like pump like hitting each other. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I still
And,
do
like-
that sometimes, like to myself. I'm like,
Yeah, like if you don't know, this is not a visual medium because although Eric and I always do this camera ready,
absolutely camera ready, makeup, hair done, dresses on, girls
Yeah.
to the sky, of course.
on time every time.
Mhm.
Yeah, but we just don't release the videos, of course. But like, yeah, that happened. That was on NBC, so like everyone knew that they could do that.
Yeah.
You know.
So the little girl, the teacher locks her in the door. She's got her little pink princess shirt, her curly hair pulled back. She's squirming to get into the bathroom. The teacher lets her in there alone, gives her the green light, and this is what the
Oh my
teacher hears.
God.
And warning.
As if we haven't cussed enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Sorry, this is a very cussy episode. Motherfucker, you unentitled bitch, motherfucker. What are you saying, like, motherfucker? You don't know what you're saying, bitch. She's just like, these incompetent kids you give me to work with. Sounds like a frustrated boss. Like,
She is. She's like already like, what is her blood pressure?
yeah, like you get this kid on spironolactone stat. She
That's
didn't
so
reveal
funny.
who she was mad at. And then after several more bitches were dropped, the teacher says, "Are you finished?" No. It goes back to her swear words. I love it.
That's so funny. You know who I probably say a lot of swear words if I was the person in this next story.
This is one of the most Florida mans.
It doesn't even make any sense.
No.
Like how this happened.
No, that's the thing. Yeah.
But it also sounds like something that you would write in fan fiction because you're so attracted to kangaroos.
I'm just saying. At one point they were thought to be a cryptid.
I don't know what that. Oh, like a
Bigfoot or yeah, because like people were like, it's like the face of a fox, but the body of a man, and this, and this. And Aboriginal people knew that they were real in Australia, but white people were like, there's this crazy thing on that island. And then eventually, like in the 1700s or something, like white people were like, oh yeah, it's a kangaroo. Yeah.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
so
they thought
here's
it was wild. Anyway, cryptid.
So here's what happened. Oh, come on, bitch. Really? Pretzel? No.
And
Hey.
I've never seen Cassandra's dog, so to me it's a cryptid. I've just heard of tale of it. I've seen blurry black and white footage.
She's just been like, you know how there's like all these internet videos of like, the
Mhm.
dog knows that I'm pregnant and like sleeping on the belly and shit. The dog knows I'm pregnant and she's chosen to guard the house
Yeah.
24/7, bark at
Yeah.
everything she hears in the hall.
Yeah.
Cost
Because you
me
can't protect
thousands.
yourself. She's doing
That's
it
what
for
she
you.
thinks.
Yeah.
So she costs hundreds and thousands of dollars in training. Ooh, I can't get into it. Okay. So there's a kangaroo in my apartment. Kangaroo runs rampant in Tampa before deputies capture. This comes from fox5ny.com.
God damn it. How did kangaroo even get in a guy's apartment? That sounds like a Dr. Seuss riddle. There's a kangaroo in my apartment.
Yeah,
lost
like
Dr. Seuss book.
the Florida people, don't they usually get crocodiles? Like kangaroo is like
Sure.
someone brought that here.
Yeah.
So unless you live near a zoo,
Which they're legal, I guess, because it was
what?
found, and it was registered for so it was reunited with its owner after its registration for ownership was verified thanks to HCSO's agriculture unit. They were like, "Oh, we found it. Don't worry about it." That's the
Oh,
Hillsbury
it's got a
County
collar
Sheriff's
on.
Office. Yeah. There's a little bell that rings as it jumps and punches me in the face. Yeah.
It feels lawless sometimes in Florida.
Honestly.
Like, I mean,
Honestly.
obviously there's laws because the police, right? They tell every story that they encounter, but like, what? Who? Why can you have a kangaroo as a pet? That's not
Mhm.
cool.
Mhm. Rude. Rude. All right. This next story gets us from apnews.com, and it's also about an animal, but a friendship animal. A talking crow befriends entire Oregon elementary school. I have a life goal, and that's for a crow to befriend me and bring me presents. Do you know that they'll do that? They'll bring you like little trinkets. They'll be like, "Oh, I found this pop tab and I thought of you." But if you make a crow your enemy, it'll tell other crows you fucking suck. Crows are so smart.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, they'll bring like, "Oh, look, I found these jewels and trinkets," and they'll bring you like presents. Like what, they're like, "Oh, the humans like shiny stuff. I found the shiny stuff. I'll bring it to my friend." But if you like suck, the crows will be like, "That guy sucks." And like all crows will
Nevermore.
hate you. Nevermore. Yeah.
I would think to myself, if a crow dropped off something to me, I'd be like, "Welp,
Mm-hmm.
this is an omen.
Mm-hmm.
I better not leave the house ever again." But I didn't know that maybe they're just nice. There's like big crows around the valley
Mm-hmm.
in LA in general, like just like beefed up crows.
Fucking jacked crows. I love it. So
It's sweet
basically,
though. So
it's sweet.
yeah,
Yeah.
tell them.
A friendly, foul-mouthed crow is a temporary mascot at the Allendale Elementary School. It took up residence at the Grants Pass School. It took up residence at the Grants Pass School. It just showed up out of the blue, and it was looking in classrooms, like pecking at the doors. And one kid said that it found its way into a fifth grade classroom, and it helped itself to some snacks. It was like, "Oh, hey, you guys don't seem to be eating this right now, so I'm going to go ahead and do that." It wasn't aggressive, and it loved all the kids. It would like land on the kids' heads. But the crow could speak. And I'm like, "What?" She said the bird could say, "What's up? I'm fine," and a lot of swear words.
You know, there's a lot of these birds in, like, to a point where there are native parrots to Burbank.
Burbank.
Because so many people had parrots that got loose and then they started mating with the other birds. And so now there's the Burbank parrots. So maybe that is also true in Oregon,
Mhm.
where
Mhm.
this was like a crow parrot hybrid. These things are so loud.
Yeah, they are really loud, but they the crow seemed playful. And I was like, maybe it was just a kid crow and it wanted to go to school and learn. And it was so smart that it could talk, but it wasn't given the right opportunities because our country does not set people up for success and does not give people from disadvantaged backgrounds like crows the opportunity to have a public education.
Well said. Well
Wow.
said.
Fucking stomp speech. Vote.
This is a Patreon exclusive.
So yeah, basically, what a sweet little story. And of course, people were like, when the kids were gone for Thanksgiving, the neighbor captured the bird and took him to a local animal sanctuary. They released him, thank goodness, because he was not used to being without humans. And he was like,
Yeah.
"What?" But yeah, he'd come and sit at the top of a Planet Fitness talking to people who were going on. He was looking for his person. And
That's sweet.
I think this is sweet. Like, I'd be cool to have a pet mascot. There was a deer that jumped the fence at my elementary school twice. I don't know if it's the same deer, but we just got chased by a
Wow.
deer at my school, which chaos. You take 100 elementary kids on like 4 acres of land for a playground and just have a
Spitting and
deer
cussing.
spitting, cussing, and then a deer starts chasing us all. Lord. It
That's
was insane.
so country. I was so you and I have such different backgrounds, man. That's just not my experience at
Oh
all.
my god.
We'd be lucky to see a cat. Truly. Okay, so Erica, you I don't know if you deal in luxury goods, but you're certainly around them a lot considering, your profession.
Mhm.
Is
Mhm.
that fair to say?
That's fair to say. I mean, I have a high the taste of the high life on the low budget, a bougie budget.
Well, this next story from NBCDFW.com. This woman orders a 250 I'm sorry, excuse me. This woman ordered a $275 ashtray from Saks. It's a Dolce
Mhm.
and Gabbana ashtray, which shockingly, that's not the end of the headline because I feel like we could just talk about that.
Yeah, I'm like,
Um,
okay, somebody ordering D&G in this day and age in 2024, the year of our Lord.
is that the thing that got you? It's not the almost $300 ashtray.
Oh, it's just like how
But
racist and trashy Dolce and Gabbana is. I thought that's what your angle was. But yeah, who orders an ashtray? Faith like a
ashtrays are
fucking
something that's
youth.
99 cents
Hmm.
at a I don't know, a smoke shop. That's honestly that's the can
This is
of
so fucking
LaCroix.
new money to be like, "Oh, I want something luxury and I can't afford like let's say a
Yeah.
handbag that's $12,000, but I could have like
Yeah.
this that says the name on it." And it's
You
like,
could go to Mexico
"Girl, save up."
and like get you don't even have to go to Mexico. Shit, you could go to Union Station.
DHgate.com. Yeah.
Anyways, that's not the point.
No.
What the point is that instead of receiving this $275 Dolce & Gabbana ashtray that she ordered, she received a can of tuna. Whoops.
Whoop,
What?
whoop,
How this
whoop.
happened to you? This is in a now viral TikTok video, which she's from Nashville, and she does say in in the TikTok, "I don't need to hear the judgment. This is what I wanted. It's what I picked. It's pretty." Like, so she even addresses the
Oh, yeah, she knows, yeah.
haters like us when she's like, "I ordered this ashtray. I don't want to hear about that.
Right.
Here's the point. I got a can of tuna." But yeah, she
Yeah.
opened it and she found a can of like tuna still like wrapped in cellophane, and like tight wrapped with like a hairdryer or whatever,
Yeah.
but it's crazy.
So if you use the Amex Platinum card, you get a credit to Saks Fifth Avenue every 6 months. You get a $50 credit. So, I mean, that's a $100 value already right there.
But
But
if you're not someone who ever shops at Saks, may I suggest perhaps the Chase Sapphire Reserve or the Capital One Venture X? You know,
oh my God.
if those kinds of luxury perks just aren't up your alley. Anyways, we got
Multiple
codes,
people,
we got credit card codes. We don't get paid for them. Well, we
we
do
do
get we
referrals.
do. We get referrals, but that's like on a personal level. That has
No.
nothing to do with the podcast. Nothing
Um,
yet.
multiple commenters on her video reported that their packages. She said, one lady said, I paid $450 for perfume. They don't accept used perfume for return, supposedly. Another one said, my daughter bought a $500 bag. When she received the box, it was carefully sliced in a different spot and the bag removed. Saks Mail is a target for high-end theft, reportedly.
So that's probably what happened is that the Saks Fifth Avenue is like not, not quiet about their boxes. Their boxes say Saks all over them. And then
Mm-hmm.
people, I guess, are like, oh, fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
Something expensive is in here. I will just go ahead and do that.
Yeah. Yeah, multiple people, Saks got involved. They said, we can authenticate that this was, a compromised package. We would not have sent it. Luxury continues to be a targeted event. Maybe send it in a brown box and put the Saks on the inside. Because I get that sometimes from different sellers where like the scent label doesn't say name fancy. Like even like
Yeah.
Nike sometimes doesn't put name fancy.
Half the baby shit that they sent us, which by the way, baby stuff is so expensive. Holy crap.
Because it's so little, they have to use smaller hands to make it.
And it has to make sure that they don't die when they use it, because babies die so easy. It's true.
They're so
Everything.
fragile. Little bitches. Just so fragile.
Girl, everything we've received has been like, here's how you put it together, and then this page is all the ways that it could still kill your baby, and so that's on you. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. But that being said, it all comes very discreet. My biggest pet peeve, which I know, like, God, we're wasting so much cardboard with all these deliveries, etc., etc. But like, do not send me an air fryer, Amazon, in the air fryer's box.
No.
Why?
Put
Everyone's
a white
gonna see
label
that
around
shit.
that. Exactly. Yeah, I hate it. Or sometimes they'll just send literally a clear plastic bag.
Girl.
Have you had that?
No.
It's
That's
clear.
crazy.
And I'm like, so somebody could have just stolen a pair of my underwear? Because you can I'm like, this is lazy, Amazon.
We didn't ask you to do this. We didn't ask you to ship everything in 2 days. You said you would. Anyways.
Yeah. All right, Cass, speaking of things we don't get paid for to talk about, let's actually take an ad break where we do get paid through the sponsors of this fine podcast.
Ugh, not another ad.
Sorry, Cass, but Mama's got to pay the bills.
Surely there's another way.
Oh, there is. You can subscribe to the Trashy Podcast Patreon.
That's ad-free episodes?
And longer episodes.
So much trash.
And even sometimes we release bonus behind the paywall only content.
Exclusive trash.
Sign up for memberships as low as $1.99 per month at patreon.com/trashytrashypodcast.
So patreon.com/trashytrashypodcast. Oh, that's fun. There's different tiers. Wait, what is this $200,000 a month?
Oh, at that level, we'll stop doing a public podcast and do a private podcast for you daily for one very rich, very cool listener. That's patreon.com/trashytrashypodcast and sign up today.
Erica, if I can be real, I'm worried about the planet.
Hey, Cass, it's a comedy podcast.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, well then let me just jump to what I wanted to bring up. Have you heard of Sun and Swell Foods?
You mean the nation's first online plastic-free grocery store?
Yes, that's what I mean. I want all the baby trash cans out there to have a chance to shop the assortment of delicious, healthy foods in plastic-free compostable packaging.
I read by 2050 there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. So imagine if we had access to yummy, plant-based, gluten-free, real foods without the plastic packaging.
Well, Sun and Swell is a women-owned small business based in Santa Barbara who are offering people just that. Oh, and BTW, if you don't have access to compost to ditch the packaging after you're done, they have a send-back program. They are not wasting anything, babies.
So, if you're looking for a more planet-friendly pantry, shop Sun and Swell and get 20% off site-wide when you go to sunandswellfoods.com and use code TRASHY at checkout.
That's 20% off your entire order when you use TRASHY at sunandswellfoods.com. Hey, do you want to start your own podcast?
Cass, are you breaking up with me?
No, not you. The baby trash cans.
Oh, so they should use Zencastr like we do.
It is so easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. You log on your computer, you press record, and you've got yourself on the road to making a studio quality podcast.
It's an all-in-one platform too, y'all. So you just create your podcast, then Zencastr does the rest, distributing it to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other major podcast destinations.
Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code TRASHY to get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan.
That's ZENCASTR Skip the last E.
We want you to have the same easy experiences that we do for all of our podcasting and content needs.
It's time to share your story.
Again, that is zencastr.com/pricing for 30% using promo code TRASHY.
Zencastr.com/pricing. Use code TRASHY at checkout.
Yeah.
It's a red flag. Oh my God. Well, speaking of your, I guess we can't speak of your husband because that was Patreon. But
yeah, no, we got to go back to the normal feed. If you're not a Patreon subscriber, and you live in Arizona, you just missed out on some pretty important information. If you don't live in Arizona, then we're gonna have to get you to subscribe to Patreon a different way. Sorry.
This comes to us from foxla.com. Couple says, I do in gas station bathroom wedding ceremony. This is where We Found Love in a Hopeless Place by Rihanna starts playing.
Oh, okay. Cool. So a couple in Kentucky really, I guess, wanted a simple wedding and decided, they got married in a gas station bathroom at the Hop Shop convenience store. They did have friends and family there, and the justification of, I didn't want to go to a chapel or get married in a church.
Bitch,
It's
a
kinda
park
like-
is free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oy. Yeah. Some of their family had to stand in the hallway because they couldn't fit inside the bathroom. And I'm above making. I haven't seen these people, but I am above making a fat joke in this circumstance. I want you to know I could, but I'm above it, you know?
What's the fat joke? I don't even see it.
They're from Kentucky, so it's like they all couldn't fit in the bathroom. Of course not, because they're fat. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
I'm not making it because I'm a better evolved person than that.
I didn't know they were fat in Kentucky. I just knew that they were fat in like Houston. Sorry. I'm not trying to be. I'm not making a fat joke either. I think that's true.
I'm just
that people
assuming
in Houston are fat.
Yeah. The Southerners, chunky Southerners. I don't know. But again, I'm not making
Here we
it,
are.
so I'm not going to
Here we
justify
are.
it because I'm not making the joke.
Yeah. No,
So-
of course not.
She said they're okay.
No, go ahead.
She said her original plan was to get married on the 4th of July, but they had to cancel. So she joked about having a wedding at the Hop Shop, which, again, there's a Hop and Sack where I grew up. So, like, a Hop Shop sounds normal to me. I was like, yep, checks out. That is absolutely what you would call a gas station.
Sure.
So they ended up wedding at the place where they first kissed. No, wait, I'm sorry. Fine. Instead of a wedding, instead of a wedding ending in the typical first kiss, the couple pressed a red button and played Randy Travis's "Forever and Ever, Amen."
Yeah, so this is where I got a little confused. I guess that this Hop Shop already came equipped with this like kind of red button, disco lights, music feature in this bathroom. So, which is maybe what motivated them to be like, if we're going to get married at the Hop Shop, perhaps we should do the ceremony in the bathroom because they have
The disco.
They have that disco.
But they said that the staff had to take an hour to clean the bathroom before they held the ceremony.
That's not enough time for a gas station bathroom, in my opinion.
Even if it's cleaned daily. Okay.
That's not enough time for a regular disco, you know?
We had vows. We put rings on each other's fingers, and then we got a couple of corny dogs. No, that's not true, but they should have.
Can you imagine having hot dogs right out? Like, you get married in a gas station bathroom and then a hot dog. Guess where you're going? Right back into that bathroom.
Well, I famously had a corn dog at my grandmother's funeral, so I get it, you know.
It's a comfort food. It is a comfort food.
I left between things, went and got a corn dog, then went back to the reception. I was like, okay. My favorite part about this...
Oh, go ahead.
This is from foxla.com, but my favorite part is that the little snippet at the end is like, this wedding took place in Kentucky, but there's like just in italics, this story was reported from Los Angeles. So it's like these fucking coastal elite liberals coming in
100%.
telling us Kentuckians how we're doing it. Like that's what that can't say, but that's what they mean.
Do you remember the days of your youth and your young 20s when a hot dog from a gas station was even an option? Like, to not make you super sick and heartburny. Because I remember just being youthful and cute and 21 and like being able to go into a 7-Eleven, get a hot dog and add the cheese, the nacho cheese on it, and that be like, and it's just 3 a.m.
Sure.
like, and that be like, all right, time to go to sleep or time to keep partying. All good. I now, are you kidding me? I'm like about to have diarrhea even thinking about it.
I mean, food is a mental health and emotional issue for me. So like, I know I'm doing bad if I'm eating like the same thing over and over again. And
Yeah.
I've had Jack in the Box, curly fries, and jalapeno peppers.
Whoa.
In the last 2 weeks, I've probably had those 4 times. Like normally after 9 p.m.
This is, I mean, everyone knows at this point, if you're a podcast listener, if I'm eating Subway, it's time to do a wellness check.
Yes.
Because that is always my go-to
Yeah.
of like, I'm not doing good, is if
Yeah.
I'm repeatedly getting Subway.
And I can't tell if I like the curly fries or if I just like the buffalo dipping sauce I can put them in.
That's how you know you're fucked. Is when you're eating something over. I had an issue at one point, like when I was deciding to solve by Del Taco chicken tacos and their mini chocolate shake that they had that was like 99 cents. And every time I always have to, you have to consume it before you get home so that the person you live with doesn't know that you're doing this.
No, this is a car food. This is a car food.
Girl,
only.
you don't even fucking taste it. All you taste
No.
is a shame that you went back. That's all you taste. Pay for it in cash, like it just.
Oh yeah. But now I got the app and I'm earning rewards. I'm getting ones for free, and I'm like, this has got to stop.
Like,
this is a vicious
bad.
cycle. Yes, I know.
So, but the Del Taco chocolate shake, like it's like bad, but I kept getting it, and I was like, do I like this? Like, I don't think so. But you just keep getting it.
Yeah.
Man, food's food.
Sticky wicket, as my friend says.
I don't get it.
I don't know, like, if there's like a global or like emotion, like, big crisis, my friend says that's like a sticky wicket. Like it's complicated.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, Cass, are you?
Oh, I was gonna ask you the same thing.
Oh my god, we're on like a mind meld. Okay,
I guess we're ready then.
Our improv days. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's time for the dumpster fire of the week.
Oh my god. If you're asking yourself, did they not do we cut that? Yeah, bitch, we cut that. We cut that for this episode.
We cut that like we cut the umbilical cord as Cass was giving birth.
Yes.
I can't wait to be in the room to do it. Yeah, I can't wait. As the person that married you, I also have to cut the umbilical cord.
It's only appropriate. All right.
Ew, it's wet.
And it's like, why are you touching it with an ungloved hand? All you had to do was grab the scissors.
Ew.
As of this recording, we still don't know if Taylor's going to cut the umbilical cord. He's like,
really?
He's like, because he.
Did you do it yourself?
No, girl.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just asking. I don't know. I've never given birth.
I don't think so. I haven't either, so maybe I can, but I don't think so. No, I think it's like it's traditional that like someone else does it, and so that it's like an option for the dad. And he's like, I don't want to do that. And then he talked to his mom, who his mom cut his umbilical cord. Taylor's adopted, so in that case, the mom was able to do it. And like she kind of talked him into it, and so he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it." Like the way he talks about it is the same energy of like, ew, 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 ew. But he's like afraid he's gonna regret not doing it.
Right.
But it's also just like, I think that like, it's not gonna change the course of your journey as a father if you don't do it. Like if it grosses you out. Anyways, well, as of this recording, I have no idea if he did it. We'll send an update if he did it. But he's like,
weird thing that we have like umbilical. Like I'm just thinking because I'm like, a puppy just pops out, but we have we're like tethered.
The placenta is a whole ass organ. I've grown another. I've grown another organ.
Are you gonna eat yours?
Fuck no, girl.
Okay. Okay. Well,
I'm
your sad
sorry.
wives are looking down upon you.
No disrespect to anybody who has done that. That's your journey.
Sure.
It's all good, girl. I'm not.
Gravy. Yeah.
It's. But to me, you.
Ew.
Anyway.
I'm gonna
Anyways,
get into the dumpster fire. Like, if it were up
it's
to
just
me,
nice.
like,
It's just
humanity
nice to
would
talk
cease.
about this.
Yeah, like, humanity would cease because I'm just like, that all just seems messy. Just don't do that. That just seems gross. So I'm
It's
glad that I'm not
I.
responsible for repopulating the earth.
I'll tell you what. Like people will talk to me and be like, "Oh my god, like how are you feeling?" And I'll have to make decisions in my head on whether or not I want to be honest with them because like maybe they're like a friend who is like a young couple who just got married and who wants to have kids. So
Yeah.
I'm like I have to be cool right now because what I want to say is I'm fucking horrible. Why the fuck do people do this and why don't more people tell other
Yeah.
people about this?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You should start an anti-mothering blog. Like, like motherhood blog.
But I think
Like,
I'm going
it's
to
hard.
really like I think
You're
I'm
gonna
going to
love
really
being a
like
mom.
yeah, it's just it's this process. But also
Yeah.
I'm very blessed and very lucky that I was able to get pregnant because a lot of people
Absolutely.
can't get pregnant. Disclaimer, blah blah blah.
Yeah, we know.
It's just like gross. I'm gross. Anyways, okay. From news.sky.com. This is something how am I supposed to keep up with this as a mother?
Yeah, this is hard. Tooth Fairy gifts children $100 bills and designer jewelry.
So there's been a US national average for like as if inflation hasn't gotten us enough. The
Mhm.
average gift from the Tooth Fairy from 2001 was $2 and now it's inflated up to $6 in 2023, which is like what? You're putting a $5 and a $1 bill under there? Like where are you getting all this cash? You know?
Right. Yeah.
Like
Are
that's
you
so
a drug dealer?
specific.
Why do you have cash?
Yeah, what do you have
When
cash
somebody has
for?
large amounts of cash, I'm like, are you a farmer or a drug dealer? Because otherwise, why do you have so much cash? Do you
Yeah.
sell children unsolicited candy? Otherwise, why do you have cash?
What's up with all the so now kids are getting like $100 bills and designer jewelry, and the reason it's getting like our iPhone, video games, like cash, like a lot of cash. Some girl from the UK, she gave her daughter 60 pounds, a letter, a silver fairy necklace, and a Louis Vuitton bracelet. Hey, they have more than one tooth. You know this, right?
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, did you give them a letter for their first shit? Like, it's just part of the deal.
Here's another thing that like again I'm not judging anybody, like literally live your life, but there's people who like save like and the umbilical cord stump falls off and they save all their baby teeth and like their first haircut and stuff. People like I have a friend whose this friend is my age and her mom still has a box with all of this shit in it. And again, everyone live your life, but to me, ew. My mom was a nurse. I think she threw that shit straight in the trash.
Yeah.
If I found out that she had a box of that shit and just waiting to die for me to find it, I mean, hilarious. That's a great bit. But
It's a really good bit, Mom.
it's a really good bit, actually. But oh man. Anyways,
Yeah.
they're saying that like they think that this is getting out of control because kids will go to school.
Mhm.
It's always one person fucking starting it. One person gave their
Mhm.
kid an iPhone
Mhm.
for their first loose tooth, and then
Mhm.
that kid said, "Hey, Tooth Fairy showed up last night, and you
Mhm.
wouldn't believe it, but here's I have an iPhone 13 Pro." And
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Are you shitting me? I have some 50-cent piece with JFK on it." Like, which I'm pretty sure is what I got back in my day.
So the Tooth Fairy, the whole thing, it was the modern Tooth Fairy was introduced more recently than you may think. There's it goes back essentially a lady named Lillian Brown in 1908 wrote an article about she was like a parenting influencer kind of, but she gave new parents a suggestion that would help them persuade their kids to have their baby tooth to have their like loose baby teeth pulled out faster. So she said the tooth fairy would leave them a small 5 cent under their pillow for each tooth that they lost. Okay, so that was like the origins of it. But where did she get the idea? It may be tied back to nearly a millennium to the 10th century Norse people of Europe. They had little Eddas, which were the little early writings, and there was a tandfee or tooth fee. Basically, every time the kids lost their tooth, the parents would give them little trinkets or prizes. Very cute. So from 5 cents in
It,
1908, $2
in
in
2001.
2001, and now $6 in 2023. An iPhone shouldn't hit us until 2087, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the chocolate coins or like whatever kind
Mhm.
of. I just like I can't. There's so many lies that I am already on the hook for telling my child
Mhm.
with
Mhm.
Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. The
Mhm.
Tooth Fairy, I thought that was going to be the easy one of like, let me dig up some like sticky quarters from my car that I haven't moved since 2017 when they replaced all the meters with credit card. And I'll just throw that under their pillow and we'll call it a day.
I
But
have a question for you, and it's only because you have the power, complete power to do this, right?
uh-huh.
What if you tell little baby Charlie about the mythical Erica?
Bleep his name.
Oh, bleeps, of course. I'm sorry. The mythical Erica. And you have all these whimsical stories, and I don't meet him till he's like 8. And then I start peeping around, and he's like, wait, that thing you were saying, it's real. It's real. I see the Erica. And you're like, Erica's just a story we made up. That
Why
sound
would I
fun?
do that to him?
Okay, no, okay.
No.
All right. Sorry. Okay. What a great cocktail story he'd have.
I think. Or like, or you talk about it in therapy.
That's true.
I
I
was
saw a
like, oh, she
TikTok from a
recorded
lady.
these weekly podcasts with this person that she then forbade me to meet
That's
until I was 8 because she wanted to scare me.
Yeah. Now that I hear it out loud, it doesn't sound as interesting. I saw a TikTok recently, and it was you remember growing up and you would just have like one of your parents' friends come by, and they were like, this is, Aunt da da da. And you're like, why do your parents have such good friends that you haven't seen in 15 years that I've seen twice my entire life? And it's like, you were like, why doesn't my mom and dad see their friends? Well, I'm about to be that person for my best friend and meet her like 8-year-old for the first time or something. And I was like,
I have a.
that's so true.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, it's just, that's so true.
I have a Patreon exclusive.
Mm.
It has to be on Patreon. All right. We got to go back to the regular feed. If you're a Patreon exclusive, my apologies for the trauma dumping that you just got. If you're on the regular feed, I'll just have this last thing to say is that apparently global searches on Pinterest were up 100% for potty training reward ideas, 90% for end of year school party ideas, and 40% for my first tooth party ideas. Maybe as a product of the 90s and as a millennial, I don't know, but like why are we doing this? I don't get rewarded every time I go to the bathroom.
Story about me, I was potty trained in a day. I don't know how. I went to like a preschool like daycare thing, and the lady there, like my mom dropped me off, and it was like through a church or something. And the lady was like, hey, she's still in diapers. Mom's like, yeah. And she's like, tomorrow you won't have to bring diapers. And mom's like, no, she's not potty trained yet. We're starting potty training. She's like, no, I'll do it today.
Oh my God.
She said I was potty trained like my 2 days maximum. She's like, you never wore diapers again. I don't know what that lady did. So my mom didn't have to potty train me. Who knows?
Let me ask you, on the rare occasions that you have pissed and shit yourself as an adult, did you ever think to yourself, I'm going to hell now? Because that's what I have to assume happened.
Yeah, I don't know. She was magic. I wish I could find her and be like, hey, thanks. I'm doing pretty well.
Jesus
Rarely
won't
piss myself.
love you. Jesus won't love you if you need diapers.
You didn't wear diapers again. Like, you know what I mean? It was like
that's
days.
That's so 90s that no one thought that was bad or weird.
Maybe that's why I also go like 0 to 100 on everything. And if I like don't get it right the first time, I'm like, well, I'm a fucking failure and I can never do this. So maybe that's honestly, big trauma correlation. Yep.
Hey,
If
here
I'm
we
not
are.
an immediately savant about something and I'm like, meh. All right.
Well, speaking of trauma, what are you hoarding?
This is old by this point, but there's a documentary called They Called Him Mostly Harmless on HBO.
Uh-huh.
And it's about a man that was found dead in Florida, like on the trails, like the bottom kind of the Appalachian Trail.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't identify him. He had no ID, they had nothing. So they just had kind of like a bad photo. And they spent years trying to identify who this man was, right? So there are these Facebook groups, and this documentary is interviewing people from the sheriff's department, from these missing person Facebook groups. And if you've ever been on the internet, you've maybe have had the phenomenon of watching a Facebook community be like, oh, this is fun. We're all just going to talk about our favorite reality TV shows. To the admins are now racist. We're purging all of the members, destruction, dumpster fire. I've seen more Facebook groups spin up, have a beautiful community, and then disintegrate in like a flame. And this is what
You get
happened
out of
basically
control fast.
so fast. But like this one woman wanted to be an FBI profiler, and then she works at a dry cleaner and lives in a extended stay motel for years now. And and she was running one Facebook group, but then another lady was nicer in the Facebook group, so people wanted her to take over. And so while it does focus on this missing man and, blah 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 and who he was, it also talks about kind of like the social media drama of these like elder women getting into it, like a DNA company got profiled, and then they discover the guy. Finally, they get his identity, and it was just kind of like nobody was missing him. He was just an asshole. At the end, it's like, oh well, everyone on the trail had like nice experiences with him. He was truly just an asshole, and it's just a wild revelation of the doc. It's really interesting. I highly recommend watching. They called him Mostly
What's it called again?
Harmless.
Okay, cool.
Because they would have trail names. So you might be like, my name is Hat Jean, or I'm Kitty Cat, or, but his trail name was Mostly Harmless. So he never told anyone his real name. Interesting. Very interesting.
Hiking people are
trail people. I know. All right. What are you
they're
hoarding?
wacky. Giant panties.
Oh, love them.
Like, wow. We're recording this early, so I don't know if I've given them up yet. I hope not, because sex appeal, absolutely zero, like negative. But like, it's just nice to have panties that go all the way up, like just all the way up, not to your boobs, but like
above the belly button for sure.
And like high above the belly button.
Yeah.
Like there's maybe an inch between your panties and your bra. Less if your bra is not structured in the sense that will hold your boobs up that inch to like show that bit of skin.
Yeah.
So like sometimes just like they're great when you're pregnant. I just feel like they're great, because it helps give you some support because you have this fucking massive center of gravity change because all this weight goes right to your front. But like, there's just times where I would like be walking around in my underwear and it's like, I look like I have a swimsuit on right now. Like I look like I'm in a one-piece swimsuit because of how gigantic these panties are. And like in my third trimester, like it was hard to do a lot of the things that I'm normally able to do. And so like Taylor's taken on a lot of the laundry, and just having to watch this man fold the biggest panties on the market and do it without a complaint
Yeah.
or like anything.
Yeah.
I just have to wonder like what goes through his head or if he's just immune and numb to it.
Beautiful.
But it always just it makes me laugh. But they're comfortable. Hey, they're comfortable. Sue
Mhm.
me. Giant panties. What are you throwing out?
The fact that you can't get to-go food from Disneyland.
What the hell what are you, a Rockefeller?
I'd like
What are
to
you
bring a
getting
churro
food?
home. I'd like to bring a churro home and have a convenient way to carry it.
They don't let you take it out of the park at all?
Oh, you can, but I'm just I'm just raw dogging a churro with my hand. How am I going to get it in my car without getting cinnamon and sugar everywhere? On the way out of
You're
the park.
pissed that they don't have a box?
Yeah, could I have a long, elongated, narrow box, please, for my churros so I could take it home? I I was walking out of the park and I'd gotten 2 churros, one for me, one to bring home to Winston. And then as I'm walking, a lady comes up and she goes, "Hey, excuse me, we're leaving. Would you like these Disney dining cards? There's only like $5 or $6 left on them, but we'd love to, we're leaving." And I go, "Oh my God, thank you so much. I'm right by the popcorn stand on the way out of the park." And I said, "Give me a popcorn." So I eat my popcorn on the shuttle to the parking lot. And then I go, "Oh, great. I can put my churro inside the popcorn box. That's going to help. And I'll put the wax on the top part." Brilliant. So I'm holding my churro this way. I'm there's a little girl across from me. Of course, we're talking, I'm like, "What was your favorite part of the day?" And, "Oh, wow, having a nice time." I go to step out of the shuttle. The churro falls on the ground. I don't know
Ugh.
how. Got out of my hand and she just goes, "Oh no." And I was like, "Oh no, I ruined this little girl's day." I ruined my own day because now I don't have a churro to bring home to Winston. But just watching this little girl be like, "What a great day. I'm not tired. I could go back to Disneyland." And just watching her go, "Oh no." I was like, "Don't mourn for me. It's okay. I'm a grown up. It's okay." It was really cute. I wish we had a to-go option. That's all. What are you throwing away?
The amount of paperwork that you have to do the minute that your child is born
Oh my
that they do not
God.
allow you to do preemptively. Like, I'm talking if I mean, I guess you could do none of it if you don't want your baby to have insurance and if you don't want to get disability from the state and maternity leave. I suppose you could let that paperwork go. But if you want to be able to live
Yep.
and have an income and have your child have insurance, um, I hope you're ready to do a shit ton of paperwork after the most traumatic thing your body could go through. It's
God.
crazy. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, again, I'm speaking before the fact, but like I've been looking into this. I was like, okay, how much can I get done now? And I'm looking and I'm
Right.
like, oh,
None.
zero. Zero. I can get zero done now. Um, and so it's like, all right, well, I have to just like
Yeah.
Taylor's prepared to do all this for me and for us, but it's just like he's gonna be tired too.
Yeah.
Like, and his handwriting's terrible, Erica. It's terrible.
Bust
So
down under. I love
I
it.
yeah, but it's kind of because I mean the only thing I can understand about it is like, well, you don't know exactly when
Mhm.
the day the baby's gonna be born, I guess. But it's like,
Sure. But I could
okay,
fill in everything else around it. Yeah.
exactly. Like,
Mhm.
fine, you don't know what day the baby's gonna be born, but can't we just update that part, but everything else be like good to go? Because there's also like there's like a 1 week waiting period because it's if you get state of California 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks of disability pay for all mothers, and then there's this other thing of baby bonding, which is another thing I'm going to have to figure out too. But it's like, great, with this paid leave, that's really that's 60% of your income
Yeah.
kind of paid leave. It's not like, we're not Europe, but it's
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for something, but it is kind of like it's difficult to deal with the EDD office when you're unemployed and have
Mhm.
nothing else to do but to deal with them. And you're saying that these motherfuckers are the ones that we have to talk to when we
Yeah.
just had a baby? We have to talk to them?
Yeah.
Oh no. So it's
Yeah.
they don't make it easy. They do not
Nope.
make it easy, but but they do make it borderline illegal to avoid not having kids in certain places. So that's cool. Fuck you, Alabama, and all the other places.
Yep. Well, Cass, where can the people find you?
I'm probably just running on vibes, so
Yeah.
you could probably find. I'm the air you breathe. I am the sound, the colors of the wind, if you will. That's where you're finding me right now. You could honestly, the only guarantees you can find me on this podcast, the Trashy podcast, for a limited number of evergreen episodes before you're not even gonna be able to find me here. So
You
I'll
can
come
find
back, though.
me
Don't worry.
at Iconic Erica Curry. I'm where I want to be found. Poshmark Iconic Erica Curry. Get into it. But most importantly, you can find the podcast. Ad-free episodes are available at patreon.com/trashy podcast. That's ad-free episodes, bonus content, extra stories we don't want not behind a paywall. But you can find us on social media at trashy pod. That's Instagram, TikTok, Threads. You can always send us a story to trashypodcast@gmail.com and tell us why you're trash or a story you'd like for us to cover. If you're listening to this by now, Google Podcasts has gone away, but we do have a YouTube channel at trashypod where you can listen to the episodes and see transcripts. We also have a merch store, trashypodcast.threadless.com. That's where you can get a shirt that supports your favorite podcast. Use code TRASHY for all discounts to support our sponsors. Thank you so much for listening. Hey, Cass.
What's going on, girl?
Stay garbage.
You stay garbage, girl.
I will. Bye-bye.
Bye.